is the intro song. This is the intro song. This is the song that will play under the title screen. Hey kids, we are not in the normal backdrop today because for Wednesday I said we'd do something crafty and I'm at home ecchi because I am going to share with you my recipe for peanut butter cookies. So that should be cool. I'm really not sure how I'm gonna set this so that the camera can see what we're doing, but we're just gonna kind of go with it. So cool. Okay, so I have my ingredients all set up already because it's no fun watching somebody put all that together. And here is our mixing bowl. So everything's split into two groups. There's one set over here and then another set over here, and I will tell you how much of each thing is as I put it in. So group one will all go in together and then we'll mix that. So this is half a cup of brown sugar. If you don't cook with brown sugar a lot, always make sure you pack it when measuring so you get your full half cup in there. We also have half a cup of white sugar. You don't have to pack that, makes no difference. We have 2 heaping teaspoons of ground cinnamon. Okay, and I wanted to do this part on the camera so you could see what I mean when I'm talking about heaping teaspoons. Some of you may never have cooked anything before, I don't know. But I use a regular teaspoon, not a measuring spoon, and I just kind of load it up there. Ground cinnamon. So we do 2, so as you can see, it's really overflowing, almost like it's 2 teaspoons worth. Perfect. I think I like this angle better, so we're gonna stick with it even though I kind of have to squat to be in the frame. So I need half a cup of peanut butter. I packed that in already. I just use like Jif Creamy, but if you like nuts in your cookies, go right ahead and use real peanuts. Crunchy's great too. So there's my half a cup of peanut butter. I use a 1/4 cup of veggie shortening. A lot of people like to use butter in cookies, but I think if you like your cookies soft and chewy and not crunchy and hard, that shortening is the way to go. And if you're substituting butter for shortening, you should always use way less shortening, like half the amount for butter. So there's that. And then I have half a cup of milk. And actually, if you are going to use, if you're vegan and you're trying to make these, this is really the only ingredient that is not vegan friendly. So substitute it for vegan friendly milk. And ta-da! And we're actually just gonna come right over here to mix it. Because I can, and the plug is over here. So this is actually, that's a whisk. This is actually my mom's like original 1980s mixer, which I love because it's older than I am. It's gonna get loud for a second while we mix. Maybe not too loud. You want to mix on low because you have a lot of powder that's going to sit on the liquid and you don't want the stuff to go flying everywhere. And you just want to mix it until it's kind of thoroughly blended. So we're back at the mixing table and I'm going to add in, it is a half teaspoon of baking soda, a half teaspoon of baking powder, and a half a teaspoon of salt. It's a half teaspoon of all 3. I've just already mixed them all into one so they can all kind of go in there. And then I have a cup and a 1/4 of flour. I don't sift it for this recipe, I just chuck it all in. I just use all-purpose flour. I tried once with cake flours because I really like my cookies to be really soft, but they just didn't stay together. We're just going to mix that again, starting on low. Now you need your oven set at 375. And then I don't grease my pans for this cookie because you kind of want them to stay the shape that you're making. They will expand a lot, but they would go way more if you greased it. So I do this by hand. Oh, these are really gooey. And it's gonna be gooey, your cookies. They just will be. And that's okay. Very soft. And you just want to get them very ball shaped, round. And then plop them onto your thing. They are going to grow a lot, so you don't want very big. You know, if you're going to use a spoon to help you size it, I would not use a tablespoon. That's too big. And you just want to space them out. I tend to do 2 rows of 3 on the outside and then 2 in the middle. It does take more cookie sheets that way, but you can rotate them in or put them all in together. It doesn't really matter. This part is going to get cut out because it's really boring. Or maybe not, we'll see. Okay, so we're about to press that lattice pattern into the top of our cookies, but in order to do that most efficiently, I find it is best to grease your fork. I grease both sides. You could probably get away with just greasing the bottom, but if you grease the top too, you make sure you'll get those insides in there. So I just use spray grease, and real quick, just a couple little spritzes there, and now we'll go to our cookies. Okay, so here we are, cookies under the camera. Sorry about the lighting. This is a disastrous kitchen for this. But here we go. So I've greased my fork. You guys watched me spray it. And I'm just gonna do a crisscross pattern right into each cookie. They don't have to be totally perfect, but just don't pull up. I wouldn't rip it off there or anything. But you kind of have to slowly just lift up, and the cookie will kind of bounce back with you, but that's okay. But you can't make a peanut butter cookie and not put your lattices in the top. Okay. My oven is done preheating, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this set in while I do the next. And I just keep track of the time so that I know. I put these in for 9 minutes to start, and yeah, so that's what we're doing. Okay, my 9 minutes are almost up. So I have a couple of wire racks. You probably only need one for this because they don't have to cool very long before you can take them off the rack too. But they can only sit on the pan for 1 minute because if you leave them on for longer than that, they will burn. They will look like they're not done when you take them out, and that 1 minute just cooks them the rest of the way. You'll get this nice like brown golden kind of sheen on the bottom. And that's it. So they do get a lot bigger. You can still kind of see the lattice pattern on top. When that clock reads 1 minute, I will take them and move them to my wire rack. Everyone's probably going to be asking why in the world that lamp was like that, and if it wasn't like that, the underlighting is so bad under the counter you wouldn't have been able to see me use the fork. Got 10 more seconds on. Okay, I'm too lazy to wait for the last batch to be done. So this is a finished cookie. Yeah, you can see our little lattice pattern on top. I have tiny hands, but it's about the size of my palm. So, and as you can see here, they're really still very soft. It doesn't like crunch or crumble, and they almost look gooey on the inside. They're so good. And the outside has just like the right amount of. See if you compare the sides, brown in and just a little bit of crunch to it to give it some texture, but the inside is totally moist and gooey. It's delicious. We did take a casualty. You won't be able to see, but I like bent my nail way back reaching into the dishwasher a second ago. But I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.